Hey guys, KayAnne Myer here. How are you doing? I hope you're well. I am your virtual success coach. I'm super excited to be with you here today. So basically, I wanted to keep my content super flexible so that I can really respond to what kind of content you guys are showing that you're enjoying. And so I noticed that you kind of seem to be enjoying a lot of the book reviews. So I've been working on a book review on, I picked up this Tony Robbins book, Awaken the Giant Within, and thought I would start there. And I wasn't going to make a video about it until I got to the end. But I was super inspired by this one part of the book about asking the right questions. And I feel like maybe it resonated so deeply with things I'm experiencing in my life right now. So I thought maybe you guys also, because of COVID, we've experienced so much disruption. And I just feel like there's never a better time than right now to be asking the right questions. So I thought we'd kind of go through a blueprint together of how we can incorporate that into our lives and how we can take what seems like major insurmountable challenges and we can start asking the right questions, getting on the right track, even if that means a new track, right? With every challenge we encounter, it can also be a great opportunity. So that's what I wanted to work with you guys on today is how do we take the challenges of the present, how do we reframe those, ask the right questions, and turn this into a life-changing moment that can create so much more abundance and joy in our futures. So what I wanted to start with is just, if we ask better questions, we will get better results, right? If we ask better questions, we will get better results. And a lot of times in our lives, what we do is we ask questions like, why can't I? And we ask these very disempowering questions when such a simple alternative would be, how can I? Right? Not, why can't I do this or why can't I do that? And we're always kind of hitting our heads against a wall. Why are we not asking more empowering questions and reframing things in terms of how can I? So, in this book, Tony Robbins talks about the problem of disempowering questions. And I know, we all know people in our lives who do this. I can think about people I know who have serious financial issues for years and years and years. And it's so obvious from the outside that they have this very limited way or distorted way of looking at money, right? And so sometimes people have challenges with money that come from maybe their youth. Maybe they were very poor. Maybe they associate money with feelings of guilt or feelings of greed or whatever. But it's like that's their perception. It's not necessarily true. They're not thinking about all the great things money can do, all the opportunity money can provide, all the people money can help, right? So they live, even when they have enough money, they live in a constant state and mind frame of lack. And so that's what they continuously experience throughout their lives. And so some of those questions can be like, why can't I do this? Why is this happening to me? Why am I poor? Like these are all very disempowering questions that people habitually ask themselves throughout a lifetime sometimes. And they really limit their experience because of these limiting questions. And I will give you an example that I definitely do it too. So just to give you an example, a couple years ago, about 2 years ago, is when a lot of what I'm experiencing in life now started. And I was on a path. My business was at its peak and super thriving. I was asked to speak in front of 1,000 people at a business conference, and it was amazing. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life. I had been coaching people and training people, and it was so fulfilling. But most of my financial success came from my business. It was not coming from the coaching I was doing. And I was trying so hard to get this promotion as a higher level coach that got paid more within this organization where I owned a franchise. And so it felt like it was years and I was just pushing and trying to get this promotion. And it felt like no matter what I did, I just wasn't getting it. And there were people around me who were getting promoted and getting all this stuff. And I knew I was working harder and I knew I was getting better results and doing a really good job. And so then I was in line to get the promotion. I was told I was going to get it. I worked my guts out for years trying to get this thing and prove, someone pay attention, I'm doing a really good job here. But then at the moment when I was going to get promoted, they suddenly announced, we're not doing any promotions this year. And I'm like, something's gotta give. Like, what is the freaking deal? I was so frustrated and I was angry and I was confused and I was just like, I hated it. I was so mad because that's what I wanted to do. But because I was asking myself the wrong questions and I had a very limited, sorry, there was like a bug that flew by my face for a second there. I had this limited frame of mind, which was that was the only path through which I could coach. I thought about starting my own coaching business, but I didn't even know where to start. Where are these clients going to come from? What am I going to coach them on? I actually don't have any real certification for it. It's just something I've been studying and actually like hands-on learning through coaching people for years. And I lost so much faith, and I took a step back and I just let my business to some extent fall away. And part of that was, after years of kind of the past 2 years thinking about it and contemplating, I realized that my business and that particular business model had reached a level of, I maxed out my success. There really was no opportunity to move forward in that business. It was very repetitive in the things I was doing, and I was pretty sick of it. And I wanted to do something more creative. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to spend time doing what I love, which is coaching and personal development. But I let all these disempowering questions control me and limit my ability to think and go outside of my realm of experience and think, hey, there's got to be a way to do this. I just haven't figured it out yet. Right? So questions like, why is this happening to me? Why does this keep happening? Like, why am I stuck here? Why can't I do this? Why won't someone hire me? It was a really dark period of time, because then I started losing faith in my ability to rebuild what I had created in the first place. And so it all happened, and it lasted until I reached a level of misery in my life where I was getting really depressed, and I finally said, enough is enough. I'm done. I've tried a number of businesses. I keep half committing to things because I'm not really sure what I want. And I had absolutely no clarity. So guys, if you feel like you've ever been in this kind of situation in your life before, know this, you are not alone. And so part of my intention in creating this video was to let you know that there is a path you can take to grab the reins again and put your life back into control and create the life that you want, right? Just because you're spinning out of control now does not mean that you are going to be there forever. You have the opportunity and the power to change that right now, this very second. And it all comes down to a decision. When you say enough is enough, failure is no longer an option. And guys, that is exactly what I did. So what I want to share with you is the first thing I had to do, besides after the decision that failure was no longer an option, the second thing that I did is I thought about what was truly important to me, right? I needed massive clarity on, okay, what did I let go of my business for a reason, and I wanted to create something else. What do I really want? What do I, in 30 years, when I look back at my life, what do I see? What do I want to know that I have created? So I needed massive clarity, and I had to ask myself some really good questions in order to get that clarity. The other thing I think is important to do in this phase is think about times in your life when you just felt on top of the world. What were some of the most important and pleasurable moments of your life and key moments, so that you can know what it is that truly brings you joy? What makes you feel like you're growing? What makes you feel like you're contributing? What do you love? And so for me, part of that vision was I love traveling so much. And I remember some of the greatest times in my life were traveling with my mom, traveling with my husband, traveling on study abroad when I was in college. Like, those are some of the most vivid memories of feeling like I was on top of the world, right? And another one is when I was public speaking. When I did that talk, and I done a bunch of talks in front of hundreds or thousands of people, and just that adrenaline rush and that feeling of like being in the zone and the lights on me and the people, and then getting their engagement and hearing them laugh at like my stupid jokes, and coming off the stage when I hearing the applause and getting high fives from people as I walked back to my spot, and getting hugs and encouragement. Like, that was one of the biggest talks I gave, was one of the greatest moments of my life, right? My kids, the day that both of my kids were born, and being with them and seeing them grow, and just looking at them sometimes and saying, oh my gosh, like, I made that, like, weird, I made that person. So that's amazing. And I think it's really important that we start asking empowering questions of, okay, these are the key pivotal moments in my life, and I felt amazing in those moments. How do I create more of that, right? I'm not going to focus anymore on why that's not working. I'm going to shift my focus into how do I create more of those amazing moments. So for example, in coaching, that's part of how this YouTube platform came about, because rather than thinking I could only coach for them, I could only coach for an organization, I had to coach people one-on-one, I thought, what is something radically different that I can do right now to fulfill that creative need in me, share my information and my knowledge and my experience, and help better people like you guys, my viewers. And then who knows, maybe down the road that will lead to more one-on-one coaching opportunities. But for now, I have I had the opportunity to take control, do what I love, and channel it into this platform. So that's kind of how I switched that from a disempowering frame of mind to an empowering frame of mind. Again, of thinking about what's truly important to you, because there have been other times in my life where I have tried and even successfully manifested things and then ultimately found them not to be satisfying, because when I look back on them, I was actually manifesting something that I thought was expected of me rather than actually what I wanted. And whether that was a societal expectation or a familial expectation, or it was very much me copying the patterns I had learned from my family growing up, I thought that success equaled living in this type of house, having this type of job, having this kind of family, doing these kind of things. And the reality was, I actually didn't derive a ton of pleasure from any of those things. I felt unconsciously compelled to do them. And then I got them because the power of manifestation is real and you can do it. And we're going to do more videos on that. But the reality is, if it is not in true alignment with who you are and what's important to you, there's a good chance you're going to get it and you're still not going to be fulfilled. So when it comes down to it, I think it's really important to get a good grip on what you really want, what's really important to you, why is it important to you, and realize that we're going to go through so many stages in our lives and it's not forever. One thing about life that we can always count on is that things change, right? So we can manifest something and then a few years later feel like we need to manifest something else because maybe we derived all of that there was to grow and learn from that experience, and now we need to move on and manifest something bigger and manifest something greater. And then you might say, why? And then I'm going to challenge you by saying, why not? Right? I remember I bought this big beautiful house, and I remember a friend saying to me, why? And I just remember thinking to myself, what kind of a question is that? Right? And now, and I dwelled on that question. I internalized that question. Why would she ask me that question? And finally, years later, I look back and I thought, why am I letting this person disempower me? Why not? Why wouldn't I buy this big, beautiful house, right? Because that means I have to expand myself beyond my current limits in order to become the kind of person who can own this kind of big, beautiful house. Why would I not want to expand and grow and get better in my life? That's why we're here, right? That's why our higher power put us here. It was to become better and to expand and to then use that expanded sense of self to help other people around us, to be happy and make other people happy. So don't get pigeonholed in. Remember that a lot of the times the situation that we're living in, it's because we asked little questions. We asked disempowering questions. We didn't ask questions that were expansive. We didn't think about the unlimited possibilities that are out there. We didn't think about the fact that we can have anything. And I would even say, for me, I put a wild card in there. As you're asking these empowering questions and you're putting yourself on that path of greatness, throw a wild card in there. Manifest something totally unexpected and totally random because you can. And it's good practice. And why not? So I've got my own little manifestation thing I'm doing this year, and I'll let you know if it pans out. I'm not going to tell you about it yet, but once it does, I will let you know what happens. So what I'm going to leave you with, guys, again, get tremendous clarity on what is truly important to you. Write down those things. Think about those times in your life when you felt truly amazing. And how can we get more of that into our lives now? Well, another one for me was I noticed that every time I'm on a boat, every time I'm in the tropics, I'm on a boat, I go snorkeling, I see the fish, I get in the water, oh my gosh, that wind in my face and blowing through my hair, I just feel so free and amazing and I love it. And I'm like, okay, how can I incorporate more of that into my life? How do I incorporate more of public speaking? How do I incorporate more coaching? Let's change our questions from why can't I to how can I, right? So what I want to do real quick is share it with you. In this book, which I will be doing a book review on page 195, they have morning power questions and evening power questions. I'm not going to get into too much detail of that right now. What I want to leave you with is just pure opportunity. Again, COVID has given us such a disruption, and we can look at disruption in our lives as the end of something, or we can look at it as the beginning of something, right? And my family and I right now, my business that I had, my magazines are shutting down in the next month. My husband is still on unemployment because he lost his job because of COVID. We are now embarking because we saw this as let's have faith, let's move forward, and let's figure it out and create the life that we want. And so we have goals, we have clarity, we know what we want, and we're going after it. My husband is building a short-term rental with his hands. Beginning to end, doing it all himself. It's amazing, and I'm going to make a video and show you guys what that looks like. But what we can do right now. COVID has created disruption. It's created an end, but it's also created a beginning. So let's think about this. Problem-solving questions. Number one, what is great about this problem, right? What is great about this problem? Number two, what's not perfect yet? What's not perfect yet? Number three, what am I willing to do to make it the way I want it? What am I willing to do to make it the way I want it? Number four, what am I willing to no longer do to make it the way I want it? What am I willing to no longer do to make it the way I want it? And how can I enjoy the process while I do what's necessary to make it the way I want it? How can I enjoy the process while I do what's necessary to make it the way I want it? Guys, opportunity is everywhere, right? Challenges can be opportunities if we choose to ask empowering questions and we decide to look at it that way. So guys, take your life in your hands, in your control. Think about what you love. Think about what makes you happy, and think about the circumstances that are challenges, that are opportunities for change, and use these challenges and this disruption to create the life of your dreams. And start today by asking empowering questions. Guys, it is such a pleasure. Again, I am KayAnne Myer. Subscribe to my channel, like my videos, ask empowering questions, and cheers to your success.